Something about Michio Kaku's expression wasn't right. This wasn't the confident, ever-curious theoretical physicist we were used to seeing on television, casually unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos. This time, his voice trembled. His words came slower than usual. His gaze lingered far too long on a single image projected behind him. And when he finally spoke, the room, filled with elite scientists, journalists, and space historians, fell into a silence so deep it felt like the air had been pulled out. The briefing was supposed to highlight routine updates from lunar observation satellites. Instead, what unfolded shook the foundations of science itself. This wasn't data. This was a confession. Something hidden beneath the moon's surface had just rewritten human history, and by the end of this presentation, you'll understand why Michio Kaku could no longer hold back his tears. Because what they uncovered wasn't natural. Kaku began with a revelation that shattered decades of certainty. Using newly deployed quantum deep imaging satellites, researchers mapped the moon's subsurface in greater detail than ever before. What they expected to find was rock, dense and solid. What they discovered instead were vast hollow chambers, stretching for hundreds of kilometers, arranged in symmetrical grids no natural process could explain. These weren't lava tubes. They weren't random voids. They had precision. They had alignment. They had intent. Then came the shockwave. Thermal scans revealed heat signatures emanating from these chambers. Not scattered randomly, but in localized pulses, too exact to be geological. Something within the moon wasn't just structured, it was active. Whether a machine, a reactor, or something else entirely, Kaku didn't dare speculate. He didn't need to. The data told the story itself. The anomalies didn't stop there. For decades, gravitational inconsistencies on the moon were brushed off as minor errors in measurement. But with the new high-resolution mapping, those errors revealed themselves as an interconnected grid, stretching across the lunar globe like scaffolding. 3 independent space agencies confirmed the same findings: a lattice buried within the moon, perfectly aligned with its hollow cavities and metallic reflections. This wasn't randomness. This was engineering. If this lattice still functions, then the moon may not simply orbit Earth, it could be stabilizing it. Regulating tides, controlling axial tilt, maybe even shaping Earth's climate in subtle ways. Kaku's words carried a weight that froze the room. If the moon was placed here, if it was built, then we must ask by whom, and for what purpose. To put this into perspective, Kaku compared Earth's moon with others across the solar system. Mars has 2 small moons, Phobos and Deimos. Both are irregular, potato-shaped rocks captured from the asteroid belt. Jupiter and Saturn boast dozens of moons, most of them chaotic and unstable, wobbling with irregular orbits. Saturn's moon Iapetus is perhaps the most intriguing comparison. A massive equatorial ridge wrapping around its surface, giving it an unnatural, almost constructed, appearance. Even the Russian astrophysicist Iosif Shklovsky once suggested that Phobos might be hollow, an artificial satellite. Yet Earth's moon dwarfs them all, standing out in size, in orbit, in stability. It doesn't behave like the rest. It behaves like it was designed. Shifting from physics to myth, Kaku drew connections to ancient civilizations. He displayed Sumerian tablets, Mayan carvings, and Egyptian texts, all of which described a time before the moon, or spoke of the moon as a sudden arrival, a newcomer in the heavens. The Zulu people of South Africa tell of a time when 2 brothers brought the moon across the sky and placed it above Earth, changing the balance of life forever. Aristotle himself cited legends of people who lived before the moon, describing ancient tribes said to have existed before our satellite lit the night. These weren't random myths. They were scattered cultural memories, pointing to a global awareness that the moon may not have always been there. Even eclipses took on a new light. Earth's moon is unique, perfectly sized and positioned to blot out the sun with flawless precision. Coincidence? Or cosmic engineering? A stage set not just for beauty, but for observation, perhaps even manipulation? The revelations grew darker. Subsurface tomography revealed reflective metals unknown to modern science, arranged in geometric arrays beneath the crust. These weren't natural ores. They behaved like alloys, absorbing, redirecting, and shielding against energy. In simulated models, they acted like casing materials designed to withstand pressure, time, and violent impacts. A machine's skeleton buried in dust. Then came the reminder of something NASA discovered half a century ago, and quietly buried. During Apollo 12, engineers intentionally crashed a lunar module into the surface to study seismic activity. The result defied belief. The moon rang like a bell for nearly an hour. Natural rock doesn't do that. Not unless it's hollow, reinforced, or both. Later Apollo missions repeated the experiment, and the same ringing echoed again. For decades, this was written off as a strange curiosity. But with today's evidence, it feels less like an anomaly and more like a signature. And if it's a signature, someone designed it to respond. Radio astronomers have also been hearing whispers, low-frequency bursts from the moon's far side. Strange signals at precise intervals, like patterns hidden in the static. When filtered with advanced algorithms, some of these bursts resemble digital codes. Not random noise, but structured information. The chilling part? These emissions spike when probes pass behind the moon, as if something there is aware and watching. Perhaps the most mathematically unsettling revelation was about the moon's orbit. Perfect tidal locking. Perfect orbital stability. Perfect size for eclipses. Other moons in the solar system wobble, drift, or tilt over time. Ours does not. Kaku explained that the probability of this arrangement being purely natural is astronomically low. It is, in every sense, too perfect. But the silence that followed wasn't from awe. It was from fear. Because what came next wasn't science at all. It was erasure. Missing Apollo recordings. Lost telemetry. Voice transmissions cut or recorded over. Reports of astronauts describing strange lights, metallic noises, and comms interference while orbiting the far side, all buried, redacted, or dismissed. Retired insiders have hinted at quiet briefings, at warnings never to speak of what was seen. Kaku, never one to indulge in conspiracies, admitted something chilling. The silence itself is evidence. Someone is keeping the truth hidden. Buzz Aldrin once hinted cryptically about a monolith on Phobos, Mars' moon, suggesting that whoever placed it there, humans should be asking the big questions. Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, spoke openly about withheld information and the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement. If astronauts saw something more than what was shown to the public, then the greatest cover-up of all time may be orbiting above our heads. By the time Kaku stepped away from the podium, the room felt heavier than gravity. The moon, our timeless symbol of serenity, romance, and light, now loomed as something else entirely. It may not be a natural satellite. It may not be lifeless. And it may not be ours. From hollow echoes to ancient myths, from strange signals to missing tapes, the pieces align into a single, haunting possibility. The moon is a construct. Perhaps an ancient machine. Perhaps a regulator. Perhaps a watcher. And if Michio Kaku, a man grounded in quantum mechanics and logic, was shaken to tears by this truth, then maybe we should all be paying attention. Because this isn't just about astronomy anymore. This is about who, or what, put the moon there, and why it's still watching us. So, the question remains. If we keep digging deeper, if we unlock its secrets, will we discover something we were never meant to find? Tell us what you think. Do you believe the moon is a natural body, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the mysteries above us are only beginning to unravel.